Wrongful conviction damages, New York State, what you can recover. Attorney Andrew M. Stengel. The psychological consequences of wrongful imprisonment are severe, distinctive, and long lasting. Being convicted of a crime you did not commit, losing your freedom, your reputation, your career, and often your family relationships while knowing the conviction is false, creates a form of trauma unlike almost anything else. Researchers have begun calling it exoneree trauma. In New York, people who were wrongfully convicted and later exonerated have the right to pursue civil lawsuits for these psychological damages and more. Understanding what those damages look like and how New York courts evaluate them matters enormously when building a wrongful conviction case. The documented psychological consequences of wrongful imprisonment in New York. Research on exonerated individuals documents high rates of PTSD, major depression, and anxiety disorders following wrongful imprisonment. These conditions often emerge during incarceration and intensify after release, when the reality of lost time and displaced relationships fully sets in. Social isolation and persistent difficulty with trust are nearly universal findings among exoneree populations. The longer the period of wrongful imprisonment, the more profound the psychological consequences tend to be. A 5-year wrongful imprisonment causes serious harm. 20 years behind bars may require a lifetime of clinical treatment to manage. New York courts recognize the scaling. And expert testimony connects the duration and conditions of imprisonment directly to the severity of documented psychological outcomes. Additionally, many wrongfully convicted individuals experience what clinicians call disenfranchised grief, grief over losses that others do not fully recognize or validate. The legal system exonerated them. However, internal recovery from the experience of wrongful conviction is a far longer and more difficult process. That ongoing suffering is real, documentable, and compensable under New York civil law. Reintegration challenges that compound the psychological harm. Exonerated individuals face reintegration challenges unlike anything most people experience. After years or decades in prison, basic life skills and social connections may have disappeared entirely. Technology, employment landscapes, and social norms all shift during a long imprisonment. Returning to a world that has fundamentally changed while you are held against your will is itself a form of ongoing injury. Employment discrimination compounds the difficulty. Even with a formal exoneration, many employers surface the original conviction through background checks. Explaining the circumstances does not always overcome the stigma. In New York, this economic displacement deepens the psychological harm. Wrongfully convicted individuals feel the injustice extend into every area of the life they are trying to rebuild. Furthermore, the absence of support networks makes recovery harder. Family members who maintain contact through imprisonment are often depleted. Those who did not maintain contact have frequently moved on. Starting over without the relationships and resources most people take for granted is a form of loss that belongs in the damages calculation. How expert witnesses document psychological damages in New York civil lawsuits. Expert documentation of psychological harm is essential in wrongful conviction civil lawsuits in New York. Trauma psychiatrists and forensic psychologists conduct comprehensive clinical evaluations, administer standardized psychological testing, and review the individual's full history before the wrongful conviction, during imprisonment, and after exoneration. Their reports translate the subjective experience of exoneree trauma into documented and quantifiable harm. This expert testimony serves several functions. It establishes the diagnosis, PTSD, major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety, or other conditions, and links it causally to the wrongful conviction. Additionally, it projects future treatment needs and costs, which become a separate component of the damages calculation in civil court. New York's Unjust Conviction and Imprisonment Act, Court of Claims Act, Section 8B, provides a specific civil remedy for people wrongfully convicted and imprisoned in New York State. Federal civil rights lawsuits under 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 offer a parallel path when law enforcement misconduct, fabricated evidence, Brady violations, or coerced confessions cause the wrongful conviction. An experienced attorney evaluates both avenues to build the strongest possible case for full damages. Lost relationships, life milestones, and what New York law allows you to recover. Wrongful imprisonment takes more than years. It takes relationships, family milestones, and the ordinary experiences that make up a human life. The death of a parent during imprisonment, children who grew up without a present parent, missed weddings, graduations, and funerals that cannot be reclaimed. These losses are difficult to quantify, but New York law treats them as genuine and compensable harm. Courts and juries across New York recognize that lost relationships and missed milestones carry real value. Life care planners and forensic economists can assign economic value to measurable losses, including lost wages and diminished earning capacity. For losses that resist calculation, the grief of missing a child's childhood, years of estrangement from siblings, New York law allows non economic damages for pain, suffering, and loss of enjoyment of life. Every year of wrongful imprisonment represents years of lost human experience. That loss belongs in the damages calculation, and a skilled attorney knows how to present it compellingly to a judge or jury. Contact the law firm of Andrew M. Stengel, PC, for a free consultation. Wrongful conviction cases are among the most complex civil lawsuits in New York and among the most important. The law firm of Andrew M. Stengel, PC, represents wrongfully convicted individuals pursuing civil lawsuits throughout New York. Our firm understands the legal frameworks, the expert witnesses, and the evidence required to build a compelling case for full damages, including psychological harm, lost relationships, and economic losses spanning years or decades. All cases are handled on a contingency fee basis. You pay nothing unless we recover for you. Contact us for a free, completely confidential consultation. Email info@stengellaw.com. For more information, please visit our website, stengellaw.com. Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.